I'm going to do a 180 now. And I'm going to be a rain of sunshine on your parade.
God, bring it.
The sky is clearing up. The acid rain is going away. People are now looking up at the sunlight.
I don't trust
Although
it.
their acid rain riddled skin is being hurt by the sunlight, they're still smiling to see it.
I'm going back underground now.
No, you're gonna love this one, ladies and gentlemen. We got this amazing story. Check this out.
Yes.
Project Veritas has an update in their lawsuit with the New York Times. And the New York Times is tripping over themselves and taking a dump on their own credibility in a desperate attempt to stop James O'Keefe. It's glorious. So James put out an update video. The defense the New York Times is going with is that they have no idea what's going on.
Oh.
They didn't actually investigate James O'Keefe or his story. They didn't talk to any people involved or ask anyone for comment. It was a bunch of opinions, and they're completely ignorant of anything that happened in this case.
This is their without malice part of the argument.
But this means that James O'Keefe has just taken an axe to the base of the fake news narrative tree.
Yep.
In the Veritas video, they point out how after the New York Times says this, USA Today cites the New York Times saying Project Veritas is part of coordinated disinformation. Then you get Wikipedia and you get Twitter, Facebook, all running the same story and banning this based on the fact that the New York Times said it was true. And now the New York Times has admitted in no uncertain terms in a court of law, 1, it was just our opinion. 2, we didn't actually follow up on any of this story. And 3, we honestly have no idea what's going on anyway.
That's malicious.
Yeah. Well, malicious is a reference to knowing it's false.
Right.
So what they're saying is, we're totally clueless about this story, so it can't be malice.
Maybe not malice. What would you call it?
Not legal malice.
When you just like fire a gun everywhere without looking and then it hits somebody.
Negligence?
Yeah, negligence.
Evincing a depraved mind.
Negligence was the word I was looking for. Negligence, is that illegal? Can you hit someone on negligence?
What I love is that all these news organizations take the same tact. It's like, oh, we're not actually reporting facts. We don't actually investigate stuff. We're just talking.
That's fair.
We're just speculating.
It's like willful negligence.
It's one thing when Tucker Carlson is defending himself in a suit and says it's an opinion show that no one should take seriously or whatever. It's another thing when the New York Times runs a fact-based news story in their main news section and has to admit to the court these are not opinion writers, these are news reporters who published in the news section unverified opinions that they did not investigate anyway.
So they're either malicious or incompetent, dumb or diabolical.
Yes.
All the things that we've been talking about for years now coming to the forefront. But guess who's going to care? Guess how much traction that story is going to get? Guess how much of an impact that's going to make in American people's minds that the New York Times admits that they don't fact check, they don't research, they don't investigate the stories that they put out as fact. How much influence is that going to have?
None.
That much, guys. That much.
Are you making a
No, it's a neck. It's a neck thing. It's a neck thing.
Did you see the story of the Jeopardy contestant who did the 3-pointer hand sign because he won 3 times and they started screaming he was a white supremacist?
gosh.
This poor, you know what's funny is that this guy could win Jeopardy and still not understand the context of the hand gesture.
Definitely
It's
not.
like, dude, you read trivia all day. Certainly you read the news story about why you don't make that hand
Because that's
sign.
certainly trivial.
So Project Veritas still, this is good because it is part of the battle, and Veritas is suing Twitter as well and CNN, and they're probably going to win.
Yes.
And it's going to empower Veritas more, and it at least, someone is fighting back and having a good go at it. However, regular people watching CNN won't hear it, and the people who already like Veritas will and be like, good. But it's a tool for all of you. If you're somebody who is sick and tired, yes, you, Ian.
No, him.
No, Jack. If you are somebody who has friends and family, and I know it's difficult because a lot of people are like, my parents, my friends, they won't watch the stuff. They won't read the news anyway. They don't want to hear it. It's one more thing where you can be like, oh, hey, look at that. The New York Times admits they don't actually fact check their stories. At the very least, you can do this.
Dude, they won't even believe it, though. You could read it to them.
Yeah.
New York Times, in the New York Times, them saying they don't, they won't even believe it.
But no. It's all about how you present it. If you go to a family member, let's say you got a Joe Biden supporting family member, and you go to them and go, Biden is awful. I'll tell you why. I can't believe you vote for him. And you argue with them. Like, man, get out of here. Get out of here. But if you walk up to them and you go, do you see that crazy thing, that lawsuit or something? The New York Times apparently admitted they don't even fact check their stories. Weird, huh? But that's it. That's all you say.
Yeah. That's neutral. That's good.
It's just, I don't know. And then they're like, what does that mean? They're like, I don't know. I guess I'll subscribe to USA Today or something because, yeah. And you don't make it a big thing. You don't tie it to things. You just tell them outright. So you're sitting there and you'd be like, did you hear about that story the other day? Like, I guess like the New York Times got sued and then they came out and just admitted their news stories have unverified opinion. They're not fact checking. Man, that's crazy. I guess, I'll probably just, take a different paper, I guess.
That's crazy, man. The Washington Post, they used to do fact checking of the president. They stopped doing that. Did you hear that?
Oh, yeah. Something to do with Joe Biden.
Yeah, something to Joe Biden. Joe Biden's president now. We don't need to fact check him because he's not actually really saying those things.
They just announced that today?
They just announced that today.
Because they don't think it's actually Joe Biden.
No, it's whomever's writing his talking points, so therefore they don't need to fact check the president. Okay, guys. Hey, George Bush went into Iraq, but you know what? It was based on the information of other people that they gave him. But that doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. No one needs to be held responsible for anything anymore because Uncle Joe, Papa Joe, he's president now and everything's okay. Okay.
Yeah, I love these tweets from the establishment lefties who are like, I woke up on Sunday and everything was great because Trump didn't tweet. And it's like you open the news and it's like Joe Biden bombed Syria or whatever.
Right.
Did he bomb Syria already? No, he didn't, right? There's
no. I believe they did. And I believe.
Oh, they did?
Yep. And there was also a shot fired at an Iranian ship, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that because I tweeted that one out. I said, Orange Man made me do it.
Sorry. Biden launched an airstrike against Syria 1 month into his presidency. Right.
Exactly.
So it's like, these people are all cheering. And have you seen that commercial where the woman, she's working at a shop and the flowers in the shop are talking to her and she's singing and it's like Disney.
Yes.
And then the puddle goes, I'm going to put Lisa on crutches. And then everything turns back to normal and she goes, what? And then the guy's like, you got to get crutches, man. And it's, an insurance commercial or something. It's a good commercial. But I see that and it reminds me of like these Biden people who are now posting Biden sucks. Biden voters posting their L's. There's a Twitter account for this. And it's the people who are like during the election going like, yeah. And they're all like singing Good Morning Starshine or whatever and holding hands under the rainbow. And then a month in they're like, everything is dark and gloomy and awful. And there's a dark filter on the lens that makes you just feel miserable.
You know what's interesting? I thought that being right would make me feel good.
No.
It really does.
Makes you feel worse.
It makes me feel worse.
It's being part of the crowd that makes you feel good.
Yes. Being right when everything's going so wrong every step of the way. It's like...
If you have a lot of people with you, agreeing with you and acknowledging that you're right, it helps.
Bro,
feel good.
I have 108,000 now people on Twitter agreeing with me largely, and it still doesn't help. It makes me feel terrible being right.
A lot of the greatest people in history died in poverty. They were hated throughout their lives. They were persecuted. They were like Socrates was made to drink poison. They weren't accepted, but that doesn't make them wrong. So maybe you're one of those people.
Well, I'm definitely not in poverty, so I'm winning. Socrates got you, buddy.
You're doing better than the soap. Great.
I don't know, man. It's kind of worrying to me that we've built a culture, a society of people who are desperate to just be a part of the crowd.
You would think we'd be past that.
No. That's not we didn't build a society that does that. That's human nature, bro. That's human nature everywhere, all across time, all across everything. Why? Because we thrive in small groups.
Yeah, but look at Sparta, dude. Those people were nuts.
Yeah, but
that's the opposite. We don't want to go that direction either. But I'm saying that you can build a society that's like, I mean, they would like, what would they do? Wouldn't they like test babies?
They would kill any sick babies.
No, but wouldn't they like hold them underwater or something?
I don't know. But
or something ridiculous where it was like, if the baby survived, it was strong enough.
Warrior. Keep warrior.
Kids would fight in the military from age either 6 or 8 to 30. Every Spartan was in the military from age.
See, I'm not all about that.
They would train.
But we have the opposite, where it's like, you've seen Idiocracy, right?
Yes.
Those that reproduce the most win. So it's like you combine Idiocracy with Wall-E, where you have all the people just morbidly obese in hover chairs, and that's what we've been for a long time. We've been a nation of just life's too good, too easy, no conflict, no challenge, no struggle, and it's our own. Well, I'd say it's our own fault, but I wasn't alive. And I think, we here on this show are trying desperately to get people to care about the future of this planet and things like that. But there are people of previous generations. I guess it's, good times make weak men make hard times. Maybe the hard times are going to make some strong men in the next generation. Things will turn around.
That American dream where they're like, I'm just going to get my own little plot of land and everyone else can screw off and I'll protect my family and everyone else goodbye. That's not good. Because what that's done is created like this subsect of plutocrats that are like, I'm going to protect myself and let the rest of society
No.
suffer.
The number one factor to resist tyranny is the power to feed and protect yourself. If you have land and you can feed yourself, that is the best protector against tyranny there ever was. That is why Rome, it was a big deal to have land and take care of yourself. And as soon as like land owning stopped being as dispersed as it was, warriors and soldiers couldn't own land anymore, or it stopped becoming a requirement in order to be in the army. Land holding got consolidated by wealthiest aristocrats, and the people didn't have land to take care of themselves. That's the problem. In America, if everybody was homesteading, if everybody could have their own food, their own energy, their own warmth, their own land, their own security, well, that is a mighty fine resistance to tyranny.
So you're saying it's like when the wealthy took away the ability of the regular people to have land and survive, they became dependent upon that system.
Yes.
So
where are you leading me, Tim?
I don't know. I'm thinking about this, and I'm wondering what if the workers of the world united?
Oh, I see. Now
Workers
I got
of the
it.
world.
Okay.
I do. That was too gentle. You were just drawing me in there.
You're like, what are you doing?
No, how about this? Farmers of the world unite.
Farmers.
That's better.
I'll elaborate.
No,
on what I'm saying.
hold on. See, I see they take that statement, "Workers of the world unite," and it's become a bad thing because of the darkness that's behind it, and the
Similar to the
exploitation.
swastika.
But regular working people agreeing to defend each other from exploitation and the corrupt political elites is not a bad thing.
No.
The bad thing is when the corrupt political elite says, "Hey, we're going to get all the workers to unite. Now just do as you're told, or else."
Exactly.
That's the problem.
To clarify the American dream or whatever of having your own land and protecting and how that's a problem is that I think that some people just stop there and that's it. And then they don't care about other people. And so they're okay if other people are suffering. Like, well, he arrested that guy. It's not my problem. And the isolationist mentality that kept us out of World War II, for instance. So there's more to it. Yeah, you want your own property and your own food, but you have to think about and care for others. I know it's not like you don't want to politicize it and make people do it, but we need to do that.
What's funny is about when people do have their own land and their own sustenance and their own heat and their own protection, the need to actually engage with and care about other people and your interaction with others, it decreases, right? It's that connectivity, especially over long range distances, to bring us all together into this proximity that we're not accustomed to. This is actually part of the problem,
and that's why they wanted everybody to have guns. So
in the good way.
Right. If you have your property, you don't really, have you guys seen you've seen the movie The Patriot with Mel Gibson?
Yeah.
Yes.
What an amazing movie.
Yeah.
But the British hate it apparently because it makes them look like villains. But
The British.
It was pure propaganda, but it was good.
but there's that scene where Mel Gibson's like, "We're going into town," and they're like, "Oh, we're going into town," because you don't go into town.
Right.
Like you live on a farm, you work, you do nothing but work. Going to town was like a rare thing.
Before the telephone.
But so, right. It's like a mail carrier has delivered a mail and everyone gathers around. What is it? What's the message? Oh, man, because I've been looking at chickens for 6 months. Give me something to read. But so what happens is back then, everybody needs to be ready and able to defend themselves because if someone starts invading your land, how will you get word out to the local militia, to the community? You got to be ready and able to defend yourself. Then when conflict starts, word will spread eventually, and then people can start mobilizing. But in the meantime, you need to be able to have you need to keep and bear arms.
I'm going to agree with Ian a little bit on this one because this is actually something I've really been thinking about, and I'll explain myself, so hear me out.
Lame.
So this is like the underlying idea. Okay, so this is a problem that I've actually watched. You can make fun of me, I don't care.
I know. I'm making fun of Ian, but I love Ian. We know this.
It's fine. Okay, let me finish.
All right.
Okay, so this is the underlying issue, I think, in like the Libertarian Party, and to some extent in the conservative movement, is that this idea of the individual is so much higher than every other ideal. And I understand how important that is, and I fully respect and appreciate that. That's crucial. But Ian is right that we need to have that community. And Tim just talked about that. He's like, you need to be able to defend yourself. You need to be able to gang up with other people when it's time to rise to the occasion and fight the bad guys.
That's right.
Like,
a well-regulated militia.
Exactly. Like that's a group,
Yeah. And by regulated, I think we mean trained and equipped, right?
Yes.
Functioning. Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. If you want to see the full show, come back to this channel, youtube.com/TimcastIRL, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., where you can leave comments and super chat, and we actually will read your comments on the show. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. And if you want exclusive members-only content, segments you can't get anywhere else, go to timcast.com, become a member, and we even have full bonus episodes. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.